On an average, a person has a lifespan of 80 years. We start our education from the age of 3 years and continue till 25 years. Mostly, people retire at the age of 66 years. Now subtract those years from your life and your remaining life will be 63 years, which is 5,51,880 hours. Now let's reduce the time spent in various activities and events. Humans on an average spend 8 hours sleeping every day. This converts to 1,83,960 hours. More than 1.5 hours a day is spent on daily activities like routine work, personal care and hygiene. 1 hour of eating and drinking every day. This is excluding the time we spend at work and the time we waste. Let's bring smartphones to the table. A recent study performed by Rescue Time suggested that an individual spends more than 5 hours per day on his smartphone. That constitutes around 1,44,175 hours in your lifetime. That is 20% of your life, and in some cases even more. Till now, 63% of your life is occupied. That is from the 63 years of life remaining. With such shortage of time, we need to ensure that we spend our time right. With time flying by and so many dreams and goals to complete, it may look impossible to achieve it. But what if I told you that you were wrong? You may think I'm lying, but till the end of this video, I promise that you will learn the techniques for overcoming these issues. However, this will be possible only if you are ready to let go of your bad habits for the new ones to come in. All these millionaires and billionaires you have been admiring have won these battles, and you will too. But before starting, let's understand digital addiction. Digital addiction refers to a control disorder that involves the obsessive use of mobile devices, the internet or video games, despite of negative consequences to the user. It oftentimes leads to poor mental health, traffic accidents, and the list goes on and on. Not only do people who suffer from anxiety or depression often turn to the internet for relief from their symptoms, but someone who has a digital addiction is a higher level of developing anxiety. In this fast-moving world, if you are not addicted, then I will ensure that you never become one. In our journey today, we will find solution to these issues together. At 9:41 a.m. on January 9, 2007, Steve Jobs unveiled the iPhone. That single phone changed the lives of millions of people at once. Ever since, smartphones became the part of our society and everyday lives. They were made to increase our productivity, and they did. But as technology developed further, use of smartphones and tablets was not just for productivity, but for entertainment, for gaming, for music streaming, for learning, for financing. You just name the task and there is an app for that. Now let's have a look at how these tech companies trap or rather keep us hooked to their products. And remember, it's not your fault that you are addicted towards your phone. Your phone is designed to keep you addicted because your addiction is money for someone else. Tech companies use various scientific and psychological techniques to keep us engaged. Let me explain how. Endless scrolling. Have you ever noticed that you keep scrolling and scrolling but it never ends? That's because they designed it to keep you glued. Notifications. Let's face it, notifications are one of the biggest reasons that we open an app in middle of a work. Machine learning and artificial intelligence. We as humans keep going back to the things that we find interesting, and AI along with machine learning helps us do just that. It brings specially tailored content for you and you keep using your phone. Color schemes. Tech companies use colors that attract more and more people, and this happens within seconds and you don't even know. Take example of the YouTube logo, Spotify logo, Facebook logo, Instagram logo, and the logo of Pinterest. The dopamine factor. With the release of this hormone, you feel happier and more satisfied. This is the same hormone that is released when you feel loved or when an alcoholic person drinks alcohol. Attack on your feelings. One thing that drives our life is arguably our feelings, and your phone keeps making you feel good by delivering what you love, and therefore you keep using it more and more. The reward system. When you perform a certain task and get a virtual medal or anything like that, then you feel rewarded and continue to use more and get more and more of the same. Triggers. Companies use various triggers to grab your attention. It may be using sound or visual, and in most cases using both. Daily consumption of smartphones lead to so many consequences. Let's discuss few of them. It destroys your sleep. Sleep is a very important component towards a better and a healthy life, and having it ruined makes damage of other components much more likely to happen. It ruins your relationship with your family, friends, and even your colleagues, and in the worst cases, you may lose your business clients. It leads to depletion of patience. In my previous videos also I have mentioned that as time passes by and things start happening faster, you expect things around you to happen fast and quickly. You command others. Your mind has now developed a habit of commanding your phone, and your phone does exactly what you ask it to do without questioning, without any argument. That is why when you meet people, you start commanding them as if they are your servants, and thus they start hating you or start talking less to you. It reduces your concentration. Since it has become a habit of yours to keep moving from one thing to another, you find it very difficult to concentrate on a work with great focus. It kills your creativity. Several studies show that time spent doing nothing, being bored, is beneficial for sparking and sustaining creativity. But since we are engaged on our phone, the chances of creativity are reduced to a very less margin. You lower your self-worth. Some people start comparing their self-worth to the likes they receive on their different social media platforms. It makes you anxious that what if you are left behind, and you develop the fear of being left behind. It leads to suicidal thoughts, and in some cases even to suicide. It leads to accidents. Most of the time people who are involved in a traffic accident are on their phone or are drunk, And smartphone addiction is not less than any alcoholic addiction. It destroys your self-worth. Your self-worth is now being decided by your phone. In short, it kills you slowly and you don't even recognize it. Well, it's impossible to imagine our life without smartphones these days. But we can reduce the places where we involve them. These days, due to online classes, students, including me, spend more time on their white screens, but it's the best we can do at the moment. We can limit the smartphone usage by going back in time. I mean, not the way of Dr. Strange, but I mean by opting some traditional ways. Like instead of using your smartphone for alarm, buy an actual physical alarm clock. This way, you won't start your day with your phones. If it is possible to give your phone to your family members for the time when you are working, studying or doing any important task, then give them. In my case, I don't have a phone, so at least I don't have this problem. If you don't want to give your phone to your family members due to any reasons, keep it at a place where you don't see it that often. If you want it, you can hide it under your bedsheet or blanket. If you use your smartphone to read books, change this habit immediately and buy a physical book. Studies have proven that reading on smartphones is less effective in comparison to reading a physical book. Well, you don't always need your phone to be connected in every aspect of your life. If possible, try reducing the connected apps and connected phone softwares which you use to minimize digital addiction throughout your house. If you use your phone to control lights and other appliances at your house, you may change it because controlling these things at any time gives you the luxury of not moving, and this prevents the movements which you should do on an everyday basis. Smartphones may turn out to be a bad option for our average life, but they are a good option for a business. If you are a businessman, or you are a salesperson, or you are in a job that requires you to stay connected with people every time, then I will suggest you should keep your smartphone. But still, you can minimize certain distractions. Now it's the time to tell you the ways to overcome the problems before it's too late. Turn off notifications. Turn off all useless notifications except for the important ones as shown in the image. Turn on grayscale mode to prevent color triggers from happening. Your smartphone is having an option of grayscale mode in its accessibility settings. What this setting helps in doing is it blacks and whites everything on the screen. Therefore, whenever you have a look at your screen, you are not fallen into the psychological trap created by the organizations. Since the problem is so big that even YouTube has started to address this by including a YouTube time limit. You can set time limit on your smartphone and tell YouTube that remind me after 15 minutes, 20 minutes or whatever the time settings allow. Set reminders to take break. Ask your Google Assistant or manually set alarms and reminders to take break every 15 minutes, the time when you take your smartphone. Use the wind down setting on your Android smartphone. Google has enabled a setting known as wind down or focus mode. This setting helps in reducing your distraction by limiting notifications and activities from the apps set into the category of distractive apps. Uninstall useless apps. It's never a wise option to keep something that harms you, so uninstall all useless apps. And by useless, I mean social media applications like Instagram, Facebook, You can keep WhatsApp because your family or friend may be talking to you using it, so keep that, but delete, uninstall any useless app. Use bedtime mode. Android now has a setting of bedtime mode. The same setting was available on iOS devices since a long time. You can use this application to remind yourself 15 or 20 minutes before you go to bed. When your sleep time starts, your smartphone will start playing soothing and relaxing sounds for you that will help you fall asleep. Use digital well-being to keep a track of how much time is spent by you on a certain app. Keep your home screen clean. On an average, we have looked at our screens this many times. So keep your screen clean and make sure that there is no useless garbage on there. By garbage, I mean the icons of the app. Number 10. Isolate for good. Isolation is something that has been looked as a negative side in our society. But instead, it is a very, very important tool in identifying and predicting your chances of success.
The story takes us back in time to 1974, when a young Harvard student named Bill Gates sees the Altair 800 on the cover of a famous magazine, Popular Electronics. At that very moment that a new revolution is coming, he realizes that it's a big opportunity and he takes the risk. He drops out of his college and along with his friends Paul Allen and Monty Davidoff, he spends the next 8 weeks deconstructing and hacking basic programming language. This is an example of isolation for good and Bill's ability to perform deep work. According to Cal Newport, the author of the book Deep Work refers to the professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to the limit. These efforts create new value, improve your skills, and are hard to replicate. So doing deep work for long stretches and without distractions increases your chance of success. According to the author of the book The 5 AM Club, Mr. Robin Sharma, an addiction to distraction is the death of your creative production. So be willing to work without your phone or the internet. Your phone or the internet reduces your efficiency and productivity, so keep it away while working. Excessive use of mobile phones is bad for your psychological health. Constant overuse of mobile phones leads to increased anxiety, feeling of loneliness, and low self-esteem.
In the end, everything boils down to the end user, and we have to make sure that our smartphones are used as a tool for increasing our productivity, not the opposite. So I hope you have learned a lot from this video and you will include these things in your life, and when you leave away your smartphone, you are in a condition to create and to maintain deep and meaningful relationships. When you stop using your smartphone all the time, your mind is set free, and even when you are bored, make sure that you do not use your phone at that point of time, because that boredom period, because that period where you are having no work to do, you are feeling lazy, is a crucial period for your creativity.